Mike was just 59 years old. Peter Amos released this statement. "It is with deep sadness that I learned of the death of my friend Mike Flanagan."
Earlier this evening, and over a quarter century with the organization, Flanny became an integral part of the Orioles family for his accomplishments both on and off the field. His loss will be felt deeply and profoundly by all of us with the ball club and by Orioles fans everywhere. On behalf of the club, I extend my condolences to his wife Alex and daughters Carrie, Catherine, and Kendall. As you can imagine, it's very difficult for all of us at Masson who worked alongside Mike every day to do a show like this. Tom Davis, we have here, also Rick Dempsey. Tom worked with Mike since his Major League Baseball debut in 1975. Perhaps those, though, most devastated by this loss are our colleagues Rick Dempsey and also Jim Plamer, who wore the Orioles uniform alongside of Mike. And Demper, you knew Mike for 35 years. I know it's difficult for you to be here with us, but one of the things, I guess, when the shock sets in, you try to remember some of the good memories. And I know that you were his first strikeout his rookie year. You were with the Yankees, but we all knew him for his wit and his humor. Is that what you try to remember on a day like today?
Oh, no doubt about it. Everybody looked to him for a lift all the time. One of the strongest ball players I ever played with. So, just a tough guy, and he just kind of emulated what our team was all about. And it's a tremendous loss for.
Well, when I go back and just remember the beginning of Mike's career, I mean, just a nice person. He was always friendly to us as young reporters back in the 70s when I was beginning my career in the early 70s in 1971, and Mike arrived on the scene in 1975. And he got off to a poor start, but he still won like 15 games that year. And some of the accomplishments that he had during his career were just outstanding. I mean, you talk about winning the Cy Young in 1979 with 23 victories, helping the Orioles to the 79 World Series. He also pitched, it was part of a no-hitter in 1991, along with Greg Olson and Bob Malacky and also Mark Williams, and they combined to throw actually the last no-hitter in Orioles history back in 1991 out in Oakland. Mike spent a big part of his career in the Orioles front office, working twice as a pitching coach for the club, and he's worked twice as a broadcaster. He's probably done more things connected to the Orioles than any person ever to wear the black and the orange. And all I can think of is the happy memories we have of him and what he meant to this Orioles franchise and to the Baltimore community. He was just a terrific person.
And as we hear this news, it's just sinking in for everybody. For Jim Palmer, he found out during the broadcast. Let's head out to Minnesota and bring in Jim. And Jim, I know you're a pro. It was difficult for you to get through that broadcast, but just sitting in the booth alongside of Flanny, playing alongside of him, just some of the good memories tonight.
Well, I'm not real good at this, Amber, because I mean, he was one of us, and I guess I mean, the first thing I want to say, obviously, to his three daughters and Alex, my condolences. We were a family. Demper knows this. Tom Davis knows this. I think anybody that played for the Orioles in the eras that we played understood how lucky we were. And it wasn't just about what happened on the field. That was special, obviously. But, I mean, I'll try to get a little light here. Flanny, Demper actually came over in this trade. Mike pitched a game in Kansas City the day we traded Kenny Holtzman for Scotty McGregor and Tippy and Rick. And Brett took him in the waterfall. Every time he'd bring his hands up, they'd steal a base. And we come back to Baltimore, and Earl Weaver's watching him throw on the sideline. And Mike's just throwing, and all of a sudden Earl's standing there. He takes off, and he says, "You're not paying attention. I just stole second base." And Mike looked at him, and he said, "How'd you ever get on?" And he was one of a kind. I'm just sorry, but I'm sorry for the people that knew him, because this is part of being my age and having a chance to be with guys who were this special. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I just it's devastating.
Jim, I know it's very tough on you, obviously, but when you look back at the end of the Memorial Stadium era, he was the last man to pitch on that mound in the Orioles uniform. And just your memories of how much he really wanted to stay on that mound for that last appearance at Memorial Stadium.
Well, Flanny's he's a great basketball player, great athlete, smart, as Joe Jordan, and the scouting director would say, he had tremendous wit. He made us laugh. I sat next to him all our flights. He and I would sit and coach the first row of the bulkhead. So he was the guy that told me I don't think Earl trusts me, and Earl and I have a conversation the next day. Earl says in the Boston Globe when he's 2-9, he goes, I think he's going to be a winner. He didn't really think that, but he said it. And Flanny ended up being 15-10. 3 years later, he's the Cy Young Award winner. He could make light of anything. He was one of us. He was one of my
tortures. The BAL TV 11 News tonight.
Begin with stunning and sad breaking news tonight. The death of longtime Orioles player and executive Mike Flanagan. Good evening, I'm Rod Daniels. 11 News has confirmed that the former Baltimore Orioles pitcher and general manager was found dead at his northern Baltimore County home this afternoon. 11 Sports Director Jerry Sandusky joins us live in the studio now with more on this tragic news. Jerry?
Multiple sources tonight confirm that Mike Flanagan, the former Orioles pitcher, general manager, and broadcaster, was found dead late this afternoon on his property outside of his home in Moncton. That's in North Baltimore County. Police have not officially named the cause of death, but sources confirm Flanagan took his own life, despondent over what he considered a false perception from a community he loved of his role in the Orioles' prolonged failure. The soft-spoken and well-liked left-hander grew over the years into a fixture in the Orioles organization. He pitched for 18 seasons in the major leagues, 14 with the Orioles. Member of the Orioles Team Hall of Fame, Flanagan pitched on the O's 1983 World Series team. From 2002 through 2008, Mike Flanagan shared or held the top baseball executive position in the organization. During that time, Flanagan, according to those closest to him, struggled with not being able to do the job the way he wanted to do it. A relative confirmed that Flanagan has wrestled for some time now with the perception of fans and colleagues alike of his role in the team's failures. Orioles owner Peter Angelos released this statement tonight. It reads in part, quote, "His loss will be felt deeply and profoundly by all of us with the ball club and by Orioles fans everywhere who admired him. On behalf of the club, I extend my condolences to his wife, Alex, and his daughters, Carrie, Catherine, and Kendall." Mike Flanagan was 59 years old. More on the passing of an Orioles great later in sports. Rod?